What's going on, fam? It is Ozzy and Abner once again with Unfiltered Garage. Today we are on our 12th episode. Brother man, 12 episodes already, brother man.
This is the last episode of
Of the season.
the season. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've got a doozy. We've got a really good episode. It's going to be interesting. It's It's something that you're really passionate about. And it affects everybody that rides with a purpose.
Yeah. A Christian organization.
Christian organization.
Christian organization, if you will. Of course, motorcycle clubs, motorcycle ministries, and
Riding groups, everything.
riding groups, and everything, man. Because and listen, what we are going to discussing here, do not, please understand this, do not represent neither Black Sheep nor Lisa Saints. This is Ozzy and Abner just talk. Okay, this is us. This is our opinion. This is
Absolutely. Absolutely. This does not reflect our organizations. And the title of the episode is You Do Not Get a Free Pass.
boom.
Respecting protocol in the motorcycle culture.
Yeah, man.
Don't get a free pass.
You know,
That's important.
it's important, and this is the reason why I am pretty concerned, and I'm being sharing this concern, and I'm being really loud about it, about the pop-ups, the pop-up clubs. The pop-up clubs, the pop-up ministries, the pop-ups. Let me explain what a pop-up, right? A pop-up is an organization that just now I'm here.
Checking a beanstalk.
Yes, I'm here, and I just chose I just picked patches, and I just came up with a logo, and I put in my bag a 3-piece patch, and now we're riding with a couple guys that are misled, as I am, and we call ourselves a motorcycle club or a motorcycle ministry, and we don't know anything about the culture. And this is a culture that the core of the motorcycle culture is respect and tradition, right?
Amen. That's right.
And this is what to me is important, because when a Christian organization does something wrong, people listen. Just let's go back to when a pastor does something. People don't point fingers to that pastor; they point fingers
All of
to all the Christians. This is the church. Look at them; those are the Christians. Guess what happened when you make a mistake, a big mistake or a small mistake, whatever? It reflects on every single organization. And I can tell you that I have worked really hard, and my brother Abner has worked really hard to upkeep the name of Jesus up there, and to respect and to bring certain level of respect and professionalism to our organization.
It's our responsibility.
It is, because we ride with something that says Jesus, right? So you remember when we walk into a clubhouse in Fort Myers, and what is what they say? They didn't know the name of your club. What is what they said about the club? How is it called, the club?
It's a Jesus club. And you get lumped into the same category, right? It doesn't matter. There's no lines. There's no definitions that keep one from another. And it's a very easy way, like you said, to muddy the waters for everybody. And now everybody's lumped into the people that, for whatever reason, for one reason or another, have they've stained, or we're not perfect. We're not saying that, but when you have an organization that is representing Christ, you have to understand that everybody else that is doing or trying, they're going to get lumped into that same pile.
It's simple as that. And this is trigger on those things that, and please understand the words that I'm using, and the word is trigger, because I got really triggered. I saw a post that looked more like a newspaper ad or newspaper.
It was an advertisement.
It was an advertisement that said something for the lines of, and I have it in my phone. I couldn't believe it. It was something like, come and join us.
Yeah.
This is what we do. We are a Christian organization. This is what we do, and you don't need to prospect. There's no prospect period.
What was interesting, Ozzy, was that it was very, very particular in highlighting the fact that there's no prospecting for this organization. Come as you are.
Comments?
Come on, come all. That was pretty much the vibe of that little ad.
And I was like, God in heaven, what's going on in here? And when you go into that organization, Guess what they have? A three-piece. They have a three-piece patch, and I need to make a point of that, because when you have a three-piece patch, you are, and this is my problem. So, okay, someone from the organization said, "What is the problem? What is the problem? What you?"
What's the issue? What's the issue again?
My response to that person was on the lines of, "You're not prospecting your people, so you are just kind of like carrying everybody's mistakes, and everybody is, this is everybody's making mistakes, the same mistakes. You're not training your people. You are robbing your people from the beautiful opportunity of prospecting, or in the case of Blackshear, for instance, being mentored, being educated in the culture. B, you are saying that you are loving a culture, but you don't respect what they do or what the culture stands for. And C, hey, you can do that, all that with a one-piece patch, right? And it's important to understand why this is important.
Well, let's do the following. Let's unpack it for those people, for those of you that don't understand what does a three-piece patch mean, or a two-piece patch, one piece. What are the differences? What is that encase, or what is involved in having the different patches? And you can start with the three-piece patch, which is what you have.
Three-piece patch is typically a motorcycle club, and not all motorcycle clubs, and not all. I know 1% of motorcycle clubs that have a two-piece patch. They don't have a three-piece patch. A three-piece patch, typically it is a set. It's a set of patches that it has a top rocker, a logo in the middle, and a bottom rocker, and normally have a cube on one side, right? So the top rocker typically represents the name of the club. The logo is the patch, the main patch, and the bottom it represents the territory that you're claiming. And this is something that came to pass after World War II, when the clubs start forming and they start rocking three-piece patches. Boost Fighters, for instance, was one of the first clubs using a three-piece patch. And they got, then the big clubs started using it as well. And that it became a representation of organized and well-established motorcycle club. And it's, to this day, something that is reserved for motorcycle clubs. Right? Then you have the two-piece patches, which normally I know plenty of motorcycle ministries, established motorcycle ministries, and established motorcycle clubs that use a two-piece patch, which is the name and the logo. They don't need to have a claim territory or anything like that, or they don't claim territory in the same way. They use a side rocker, they use something else to claim the territory to tell people where they belong. And then we have, which I know a lot of, I rock a one-piece patch for 5-6 years. And you know what? I was doing ministry with that. And it just has the logo. And it might have something else, but it has the logo, and the logo tells you what it is, right? So normally a three-piece patch comes with a responsibility, comes with the demand that you have to behave like a motorcycle club. You have to act like a motorcycle club. And
okay, go ahead.
And people think Christian, we do think, and some Christian organizations think that because we're the Jesus Club and we have Christian and we have a man, we have a free pass. And we get to mock. Abner, you are from Puerto Rico originally.
I am from New York and Puerto Rico.
Okay. So you have the American flag and the Puerto Rican flag in you.
Yes, sir.
If I were to have your flag, because I see them right here, I can see them both. If I were to grab any of those flags and I were to use them to clean my motorcycle,
we're having problems. We're having problems.
They're punching.
Yeah, we're gonna have some words.
You have some words, right? Some colorful words, right? Why? Because I'm disrespecting something that is important to you. That is a banner who you are.
Definitely. And I love that you've got this broken down, and this is not something that is new. This is something that is time honored. This is something that has been established, and it's something that is recognized in the culture of motorcycles and the biker community. And I love the fact that you establish something right out the gate, and it's that when you are carrying yourself with, let's call it a three-piece patch, there is an expectation that you understand what that entails and what is required and how you're supposed to behave. What is the expectation? I love that, because many people don't even understand that. They don't know what goes along with that. And that is super important. And I wanted to share with the the family that's listening to us, this is not about gatekeeping. It's not about gatekeeping. It's about helping those that don't understand to be educated so that they don't cause problems for themselves or for others that are coming behind them. Would that be correct for you?
That will be correct, man. I'm not trying to slam the door in no one's face. That's not my intent. My intent is to open the right door.
Awesome.
That's I have been blessed that I had an organization behind me before becoming an MC, and actually an MM taught me this. Wasn't an MC, was an MM who taught me this, who taught me the difference of, and I'm blessed that, we were fortunate, and you are fortunate to belong to a responsible motorcycle ministry. And I want to use the word responsible because that's what I feel it is. That took the time, the effort, not only to investigate, to be part of the culture, but to honor the culture and said, you're not going to put patches if you don't understand this. Because it's an education, because the culture is going to educate.
One way or another,
you're gonna get educated, right?
That's right.
You want to be educated in a classroom setting. You don't want to be educated on the street. You don't want for someone to snatch your patches and say, hey, call your sergeant, tell him to pick them up. I need to see your sergeant and your president, tell him to pick them up because you're acting funny.
That is called the school of hard knocks.
Exactly. Because listen, when we have prospects in a motorcycle club and a prospect made a mistake, he makes a mistake at a clubhouse or in the set, other full patch from other clubs, they'll understand, man, he's a prospect. I'm going to talk to his president, to his sergeant, and I'm going to try to educate this person in this way. And it's with the biggest love in the world. When that person doesn't have the prospect patch anymore, and it's a full patch, it's a different conversation. And same happens when you have a 3-piece patch. When you have a 3-piece patch, there is an understanding that you know the culture enough, you know protocol enough, that you're held to different standard, man.
Yes.
But we want them all, right? We want to look like we want to look like the Christian son of anarchy. We want to be and listen, man, do it. But please do understand that you're gonna be held to a different standard. We're going to hold you to a different standard. And when I say we, I'm a motorcycle club. I'm a Christian motorcycle club, but I'm a motorcycle club. And I need to hold you to a different standard. That is what the culture demands.
That's the expectation.
That's the exact.
If you're rocking the 3-piece patch, you should know what it's about.
Yeah, and you should hold others to the same.
That's important. So how would you go about it if you have in your heart to ride for Jesus and you want to be part of an organization, you feel that God is pulling on your heartstrings to minister or to be in a club or just, have an organization, ride with people. And we went over this in the MMMC episode, but if you're somebody that wants to rock an MC and you want to do it, what would you recommend that they do? How should they go about it?
You have a couple alternatives. I refuse to believe that in your area, because I've seen it, there is not a respectable there is not organization. And I'm going to say this with love. And actually, for the glory of God, there is a lot of Christian motorcycle organizations out there that are really good, really good. We joined when we established one in here in the city of Miami. We established that one because we were receiving the education from afar, and we were the first one in here, but it was the one that spoke to our heart. So if it's a Christian organization that you're joining, I will say, pray about it. Do you need a patch to love people on motorcycle? Do you need a patch for that? If you don't find, and if you're in your prayer, you don't find a group of people that you can connect with, be in the culture, man. For me, it's start writing. Start writing with people, start seeing what's up, start just going to events, start opening the doors, and start just joining, be part of the culture before trying to before being part of a group. That's what I'm trying to say. And you're going to find out really quick if you like the culture, if you like to be part of the culture or not. Do research, man. Do your research. 75% of the time, you're going to find an organization that fits your needs and your calling. But if you feel that is not the case, that God is calling you to open something specific, something so specific that God has put it in your heart. And I can imagine, man, there are organizations that are so particular that they just work. There's an organization that I love. It's not a Christian organization, but it's an organization called BACA. It's Bikers Against Child Abuse, and that is such a niche.
Very much so.
Mission. Somebody has to put that desire. They have to love that. If you have such a neat vision and God has given you such a niche mission, open it, but be cautious about it. Start it, but be cautious about it. Start humble. Start learning. Start educating yourself. Learn from what other organizations are doing. There are 10,000 resources, but for the love of God, don't do a one-piece patch. Don't do a three-piece patch.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that, right, every organization should be defined. What are we going to be to start off? And that I guess that would be, right, the first thing to do is define what am I going to do? Because it's very different, the ministry and a club. And we talked about that. Now, there's also the other caveat is that it's a lot of work, right? It's hard work. Do you want to reinvent the wheel? That's not a good investment of your time, reinventing the wheel. If there's organizations that mirror a lot and have in common a lot of what you have in your heart and what God is putting in your heart, I think that what you're saying is look for what's out there, see if your interests and what God is putting in your heart is intersecting. And if there's a good match, why would you have to reinvent the wheel and go through all that painstaking process of starting something when you can join an organization that might be able to not only help you, but also support that desire that God has put in your heart?
Absolutely. So let me ask you, let me reverse the question to you. Are you a 100% match with your organization? 100%. Do you match 100% the desire of your organization? Being honest.
I think that, you know what? In my case, for me, I am 100% match with this organization. Yes. I see where you're going, though. If it's 95%,
is it still a match?
I would say most importantly. And if that 5% is way more than the 90%, then the other 95 at 5, so we'll make a decision, right?
What I'm trying to get on is that I don't have to have I'm good with a 75% match, man.
Yeah.
On an organization.
Now listen, man, 75% you passing the test.
Absolutely. And listen, especially if it's an organization that has the heart, it has a good heart, the leadership, there are people that are looking for God, there are people that are just, if it's an organization that if it doesn't paper are Christian, man, it doesn't matter if it's at 100%. That is gonna, somehow that boat is going to sink. But if there's something in there, man, that tells you, these people, they might not have it all together. There's people from God. I mean, they're doing what God wants for them to do. Then that is a match. That's a work. That's a work doing match. Man. So, and I want to say the following: when we started your organization here in Miami, it was hard work, and we were just trying. Everything was given to us. We were not reinventing the wheel. We were joining something that was already established, 20+ years, and it was a lot of work, man.
It was established, but it wasn't here.
No, it wasn't.
That's important, right? So you're gonna have to have the hard work, but if you have the backup, even if it's just a structure, they give you good bones. That's enough to build on. And I love the fact that you're mentioning something, and I equate a lot of things with marriage, because marriage is something that listen, man, you're never gonna be 100% compatible. My wife and I, we're not perfect together, perfect. We have a lot of areas where we have to work on it, but it's like you said, we're seeing eye to eye on all these things. It just means that, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna go hit the bricks when something she does I don't like, like for example, she loves seafood. I don't. So she makes seafood when I'm not around. And if she wants to have seafood and I am around, I'm having Mickey D's. It's not a problem. You know what I mean? We can work with in certain things. So I love that fact that you're pointing out. If the majority, if in the grand scheme of things, you guys see eye to eye, well, then that's good enough. And why not? Vis-a-vis having to start something from new, not having anything to build on, and really risking if you don't know what you're doing, risking having problems and issues. Now let's, for the sake of the episode, let's say that you are 100% sure that nothing out there is, on board with what you're on board. You're the unicorn. Only you, this is what you're thinking, and you are 100% sure that there are people out there that are going to be in agreement with you. What should a person do if that were the case? How should they go about it?
And I'm going to use the word club in here just for the sake of the example, but it could be club or motorcycle community, right?
Sure.
Before establishing a club, be a club, okay? So start riding like a club, start moving like a club, or motorcycle ministry, whatever is the mission, right? I will advise you to start as a motorcycle ministry, because the demand of becoming a motorcycle club is going to be a struggle. If you are just to give you an example, it's going to take between 3 to 7 years to become a club. To be
from scratch. We're talking from scratch. We're not talking about a chapter. We're not starting a chapter. That's important, right? Because the chapter will have the backing, right? Would have the backing, right?
What happens if the backing comes from a dominant that doesn't belong to your area? Now we're talking about 3 to 5 years. 2 to 5 years to be recognized. We're starting a ministry. Let's move on to ministry. Start acting as a ministry. Start serving God with t-shirts. Start writing with t-shirts. Start being a ministry before forming a ministry. Be that you want to be. And this is something that I always said. I remember when it was just you and I, and we will have meeting. We will have an agenda.
Sure.
Have a schedule, and we will have a calendar like if we were 20, bro. Because we always wanted to be that before having them.
You got to walk in the role before you get the role.
Absolutely. So we always practice before being that.
Yeah.
And be that. Be a ministry. You start doing the ministry. Start doing the ministry work with t-shirts. Becoming a logo, man. Forming a logo. Get the recognition of the community. Start serving the area that you want to be serving, right?
You're going to earn the right to be heard.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. In every single, if your thing is homeless, well, you might as well. And this is something that I always say, man, like, no, I'm doing this and that. Who knows you in that sector that you're supposed to be? No, still, because the doors hasn't been opened. Then you probably don't have something. Start doing that. Be clear with your intention. State your intention. Don't be timid about it. If you have such a desire in your heart that God says, that you feel that God told you need to open this, man, you shouldn't be quiet about it. You should be super loud about it. You should state your intention. You should tell at least 1-2 people per day what you're doing. Everybody should know that you're the guy that is starting a motorcycle ministry. And people should be like, man, yeah, I know. They should be annoyed about you should be vexing with your mission. You should be telling that to everybody, especially your dominant and your COC. If you don't have an invitation to the dominant, you don't have an invitation to the COC. And listen, if you're a motorcycle ministry, some dominants might not bother with you. Some dominants might welcome you. Some dominants, and the COC might say something like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." It doesn't matter. It changes per city, man. Changes per zip code, right? So it depends on the political landscape. But people should know that guy and those other 3 guys, they're trying to start a motorcycle ministry, and they're just recruiting people.
You mentioned a word, and it's super important that people understand this, and they have it very clear. And this happens a lot with sometimes people that are not, they fall in love with writing, and they very correctly see it as a great opportunity for ministry or for serving God, right? Because writing is really, really it's a great tool for serving God. As are any really hobby, I want to say, because sometimes cars, antique cars and classic cars, anything that you get like-minded, common ground with people, that's going to be a great tool for ministry. And whatever it is, right? Any hobby can be turned into a tool for sharing the gospel, and or let's say a passion. We want to serve the homeless, whatever it be. But you said something, politics, right? This culture is a political, it has the protocol, right? That's important that they understand this, that they have that understanding. And would you recommend that they perhaps reach out to other established organizations like the one that they want to start to say, hey, listen, what do you think? How should I do? And just share that information and maybe get somebody that will maybe help them. What do you think about that?
It's deep. And I'm going to be 100% honest, right?
It's all filtered, but hit it.
Sadly enough, the jealousy within motorcycle organizations, Christian motorcycle organizations, I want to be clear, I'm talking about Christians. The jealousy among Christians, it is ridiculous. It's like, oh my God, this club is starting in here and they are going to take away from our... My dude, you know what doesn't get me mad? When I see more churches opening. If you're a real Christian, you're celebrating when churches are opening, dude. That's what we do. So it is tricky because you might be reaching out to an organization that is they don't want to welcome you. You wanna know for experience that this is true, and I'm not gonna drop names, but one
yes
no that happened.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, in an ideal world, let's say we're in this new world of motorcycle ministries. Yes, find someone that have done it. And doesn't need to be someone that is in your area, but find someone that has done it. When I was stuck in my ministry, I reached out to someone in Costa Rica to ask questions about, bro, how you guys are doing it, man? We have internet nowadays. How you guys are doing it? A phone call. Man, when I was looking for a motorcycle club, a Boost Fighter got on the phone with me and said, bro, this is what you're looking for, man. This is what you need. He wasn't actually, by the way, this guy wasn't selling me his club. He was telling me about Lisa Saints. And that's how I do it. I will encourage always to reach out and to get an education, to find someone that have done it, that have been there, because it's important. Protocol, it is a language. It's the language that we speak. In certain areas, it is okay for the ladies to ride next to you. I can tell you that in Florida, in certain cities, that is not the case. You go to Texas, and the way that you shake hands and how you say hi to someone, it is different than the way that you say hands in here. Say hi in here, right? If you go say hi to, you have to, for instance, in some areas, you have to go to the dominant first. You enter into a clubhouse, you have to say hi to the dominant first, then to the prospect of the dominant, then to the support groups of the dominant. And you have to know everybody there, so you say hi until after you get to say hi to the RC. That's how it. Enter area, they don't care if you say hi. So protocol is important. It's extremely important, and it's something that you have to learn to navigate. And it changes per city. So that's why it's important for you to be part of the culture first.
And that could make it or break it for the acceptance for an organization. And of course, this is super important for, I would say, MMs to understand that at being an MM, if you are going to dive into the MC set, it will highly benefit you. If not to say you should really strive to know this, because if not, you're going to stick out like a sore thumb. Would that be...
No, it's accurate. And it's detrimental to the mission that you want to do, right?
So,
because it is speaking two languages. Like the Bible says that how will they proclaim the name of Jesus if nobody talks in? And sometimes it's that nobody's preaching to them. Sometimes it's that nobody's sharing with them. Sometimes it's that they speak Mandarin and you're speaking Italian. That's what it is. Sometimes it's not that you're not putting the work. You are. You're just speaking different languages.
There you go. But then again, right, that goes to who's your audience for ministry purposes, right? If you're just going with your example, you're talking about dealing with the homeless. Well, you need to understand how the homeless operate. You need to understand, if they have a cart, and they cover the cart, what does that mean? What does their property mean? How does it work? Right? They need to be embedded, because you can't just show up and say, well, yeah, we want to serve you, but we know nothing of you.
Exactly.
And I wanted to just say, right, going back to how we were educated, we knew that our right and our ministry, we have a very precise focus, and we have a very precise mission and vision on how we do ministry. But we were educated in the culture in general, because we will be sharing certain areas and certain, right, we're going to cross paths. And it was super important that we were educated so that we wouldn't be those guys that they don't know what they're doing, right? They're absolutely clueless, and then we would damage the opportunity, and we would damage, and that happened here. That was why for a long time there wasn't this organization, Black Sheep, wasn't able to, to be. They didn't have permission to exist. Right? We had to do that work and earn that right. So that's super important that MMs understand you don't get a pass. And we wrote to the title of the episode, you will not get a free pass just because, oh no, well, because we're Christian, this is for God, this is for Jesus. No, that has nothing to do with it. You have to know what you're doing, how you're doing, and where you're doing it, and who you're doing it with.
Yes.
Right. So that's super important. What else do you think would be, super important for people to understand? So they've already gone maybe, to the local dominant, to the local COC or whatever it is, the power structure there is. What else is it super important that they also continue to do?
Be consistent with that. If you are saying to the people that you want and you have the desire to do this, keep on doing it, man. Keep on doing it. That's something that I appreciate about so many ministries, motorcycle ministry. And guys, I see you guys. I see you out there, and I respect the heck out of you guys doing it. There's so many ministries that I do admire because they keep on doing it, and they keep on doing it, they keep on doing it. This is a community where respect goes away really fast, right? Respect comes with the time that you put into, right? Like nobody, and this is something that we mentioned before. When you get your patches, it's just the beginning, dude. You get the patches or you get the permission to fight. It's just the beginning, bro. This is nothing. This is just, I said to my brothers, you have to earn your patches every single day. And you have to earn the respect of the community every single day. So that's why I say, man, it is hard work. It's a lot of work. Honor the culture, keep on honoring the culture. You said something really important with the example of the homeless. Can you imagine? And that to me is all about love, right? You said that you love the homeless. Oh, I want to serve the homeless. But do you want to serve the homeless out of pity or out of love? Because if you're serving homeless community, thank you everybody that has that desire to serve the homeless. But if you're serving homeless community out of pity, you're going to show up to a homeless shelter with gift cards for gas. Just man, like let's give them gas for their car. Because you know nothing, dude. You're oblivious to the fact that how they're living, the living conditions. But if you're serving them out of love, well, you bring something else. If you said you love this culture, you love the biker community, you need to honor it. You need to respect it. You need to understand that this is not your world. This is theirs. They're being here before. They've been here for all. I mean, it's gonna be a century, more than a century now, and they are giving you room for you to do your Jesus thing. But you need to honor them. You need to honor the space, the room that has been open to you. So that to me is extremely important. That's why it's a little bit vexing to me is the word that I'm trying to choose because I don't want to use another word because I'm still a Christian. When I see pop-ups opening and disrespecting the culture and disrespecting clubs that have been here, Christian clubs, I'm saying, for 20, 30, 40 years. I know Christian clubs that have been here since 1970. And these guys have been doing it for a long time, man. And that's something that you need to respect. You really need to respect that. You cannot disrespect that. Putting your new three-piece patches and just saying, my MM, forever, my MM. And you see that MM just disappearing in a year.
Yeah. No, definitely. And I think it speaks really poorly. And unfortunately, everybody gets, we just mentioned that, everybody gets lumped into the same boat, right? As the Christians, or, that's why we lose credibility as Christ followers when that happens. So that's super important. What do you think are some of the dangers of this, the no prospecting or no process, no procedures, no no methods of really making sure that, because not every organization does prospecting as such. Like we don't. Our ministry does a mentorship program, but it's educational, right? It's an education. It's a period of education, so that this person, right, really understands what they're getting into. What are those dangers? What are we talking about? What kind of carnage can we expect?
And listen, no, nobody, and please understand this. Nobody's gonna come with a torch and it's going to burn your tattoos or anything like that. That is Son of Anarchy. That is Hollywood. That is recreation. That but an education is gonna happen. But before going into that, if you are trying to join an organization that what you have to send a check, they send you patches within 3 weeks. Let me run away. Please do run away.
Think twice.
No, not think twice. Like just at once, bro. Run away. Just run away. That is if you're trying to join, and I'm saying this because I know that there's organizations out there, great organizations out there that I would just say, man, by the way, when we see someone that is not a fit for us, and I have done this countless times, and you know this, I believe you guys are doing right now, prospecting a guy that I said you get. When I see someone that is not a fit for a club, not everybody is going to be a fit for a club, and not everybody is going to be fit for a motorcycle.
Absolutely.
That's reality. That's okay. That's okay. You don't need a patch to serve God. You don't need a patch to serve God.
Or maybe it's the wrong patch.
Or it's the wrong organization, right? It's not the right fit. But when I see someone that I send them to one of those respected organizations because there are great motorcycle ministries out there. I want to be clear, there are great motorcycle ministries out there. Really good motorcycle ministries are out there that take the time and the process to educate their new coming members. Call it prospecting, call it discipleship, call it whatever you want to call it mentorship, call it whatever you want to call it. There is a process. And in that process, that writer takes the time to learn about the culture, the history of the motorcycle. I remember lesson number 1 of Black Sheep is, hey, this is how this was formed.
The history.
And it's beautiful because to know about the history. Man, I am dying to go to San Antonio and sit at the place that the Galvas brothers and the founders of my club used to sit. And I can imagine probably just having coffee with them and say, guys, this is what we're going to do. I'm planning on it. Man, I see those pictures and I just get excited. And I say, I want to sit in there with my president and with my brothers, the founders, the OGs. And I say, man, what were you guys talking? And I want to see it there because the history is so important. You cannot move forward something that you don't know where it's coming from. So it's important to do that. It's important for you to join an organization that is earning it. That is not even, it's not free for all. You're earning that. But the risk, to answer your question, is that you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And mistakes, you pay for mistakes in different ways. And one of the mistakes that you can make can cause trouble not only for your organization but for you, and it can go to the extent of having some personal injuries. If you want me to put it a different way, I've been called out, and has been called, and I have been educated in several ways, not physically. I was able to correct certain stuff. And I'm telling you with all the experience, no, with all the experience, with all the humbleness, because I've been there. Being an MC, I have made mistakes that has caused some trouble, right?
You've made mistakes.
I have made mistakes that caused some trouble. Listen, I'm not going to share anything because it's club business, but man, I don't want you to be in that position. I don't want you to be in that position.
You said that movie, you didn't like the ending.
No. That's why I didn't like the ending, not at all. And I said, you know what, man, let me correct this situation. Let me correct this situation right away. But I have the wisdom because I went through a prospecting period to know, okay, I need to stop doing this right now. Some of you guys that don't have you are not prospecting your people, you're not going through any process, are going to make this mistake, and you're going to pay for it, and it's going to be costly. And I don't want for that to happen to you. You know what I mean? I don't want for this to be the case. I don't want for this to be what, I don't want for this to define. And actually, you might have the greatest intention in life within your motorcycle ministry. Please don't let the easy way to get there to hinder what God has calling you to do.
Yeah. You know, I love the fact that you're mentioning that, right? And it comes to mind, Moses, when God told him to tap the rock, just tap it, tap it, tap it. And for whatever reason, Moses decided he was gonna smack that rock. He swung that the cane that he had, and he beat on that rock, and it cost him. It cost him severely because it was disobedience, right? So you know, not knowing or not doing things the right way, the proper way, can cause you great pains and truly can hinder what you were saying, the mission. And many people, and those that really want to jump in, fast forwarding the process. Listen, man, when you watch a movie and you fast forward to the movie and you see the ending, you're not going to understand a lot of things and you're not going to enjoy the movie. And you just see, wow, man, I saw the ending. I don't understand. I really didn't like the film. You didn't like the film because you never saw the movie. You fast forwarded. You skip chapters. So from what you're telling me, the whole process and my experience is that's been it. You know, going through this whole process, you know, the process of building a chapter. We built the chapter together here, right? It allowed me to understand the work that goes into it. And then very similar to what you're looking forward to, I was able to do that and go to California, go to Lake Elsinore, see where Marty established this organization and what was in his heart and how he did it. And the people that we've been blessed with an organization that has 25 years of history, tradition, and hard work. And that's a blessing. And I agree with you 100%, knowing that, understanding that. And this episode are for those people that don't have that opportunity. They don't have an organization that they can draw on because they feel that God has put in their heart. They could, but there's no reason, right? And I agree with you 100%. We're not saying don't do it. We're just saying do it the right way. Go through the steps, go through the process, and it's for your own good. There's no fast forwarding the process, the learning, the schooling. And if this is in your heart to do it, and maybe you've already started, maybe you have the makings of a patch, maybe you have this, and you were thinking, well, all I have to do is get a couple guys and we ride. This is a great opportunity to say, well, let me pump the brakes. Let me rethink this. Let me go back and let me see how this is gonna look. Do I have the knowledge? Am I cognizant? Do I have anybody that can mentor me? Do I have anybody that can kind of guide me through the process? You were blessed with that, and also, right, you were smart enough to do the research. So for those out there that are thinking about it, again, I'm gonna volunteer you. I'm gonna throw you out there. Send them a DM, send them a message. Say, hey, listen, man, I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to see, give me, and it's a lot of love because we have a deep, deep, deep love for our community, and we respect the culture enough to say everybody is welcome. Everybody's welcome. You just have to do it the right way. Anybody can come to my house, but they can't come in dragging dirt in my house because my wife will kill you, right? But you're welcome. You gotta wipe your feet, go through the motions, and keep it clean. So
show me that you pay for it, man. Show me that you have that is sweat, tears, and prayer behind it, right?
Sure.
Because that's the thing. That unfortunately I see a lot out here, and it's so unfortunate. I see a lot of guys that they just want patch, and bro, they just want to. They want the tablets as president, founder, co-founder, master of the universe, rock out the sayonara, and they just want a patch, and it looks cute, man. What is that giving you? We mentioned in a couple episodes ago. No, that episode never aired. But we mentioned about our friend Patch, man.
Well, of course, right? Because listen, man, we're not gonna make belief and pretend that the motorcycle culture isn't attractive. It's hella attractive. It's really attractive. Who doesn't like the idea of everything that goes along with brotherhood, writing, joking, having fun? Because this is a lot of fun when you're just doing it. When you're just writing, it's fun. We were at an event yesterday with our brothers from church, but we had a blast, and we were just fooling around. But we were men and band of brothers together. When it's on bikes, it's on another level. It goes, in a crescendo. And who doesn't want that? Who wouldn't aspire to that? And you can have a godly mission also. Hey, listen, man, I call that the trifecta. Every day of the week, twice on Sunday. However, again, going to over what you've seen, we've seen so many people that think it's a patch. I'm a president. I'm a founder. I'm an original. Roll the tape for the movie of my life now. It's not that. And then, unfortunately, we've also seen how this house of cards that they've built all comes crumbling down from one day to another. And before you know it, you had a mother chapter, and now you have nothing. And now you have to ride around and see the people in the community, and they're looking at you, but boy, wait a minute, man, did you have a patch the other day? What happened there?
It's sad. And I as to the culprit or something like that is the lack of prospecting, the lack of putting the time, putting the effort, the lack of
Patience.
the work, man. Something that, man, if the people that are going to be a prospect for me since please understand, if you ask me, just add 10 days. Well, when is my time? What is the timeline? Then it's going to be, I don't know, but that's going to be more, extra 10 days. Extra 10 days. Every single time that something like that timeline is mentioned, it's extra 10 days. I'm going to teach you patience one way or another.
I love that you mentioned patience. Our organization, we've understood that also. There's no fast tracking. If you want to be successful, and when we say successful, our picture of success is being a blessed organization. Being a blessed organization that is fulfilling its purpose, and our purpose is to bring Jesus to the world of the biker community. We need to be patient. We cannot fast track it. It's your patching ceremonies tomorrow, because when we are in service, we will have challenges. We will have, we will have to,
Man, I can tell you how many people that haven't started. And by the way, this is really important. This is one of the most beautiful things about being on a process. We have people in the process and midway in the process, hey, you know what? It's not for me. And that is beautiful. That's what the process is designed for. Yeah, praise God. I mean, that doesn't mean that oh my God wouldn't want you to do. Man, it means that you recognize we all the parties recognize that this is not for you, and that is awesome. That is part of it, right? That's
you can't see it as a failure.
No, not at all.
You can't see
it was a prevention of a failure, because now I'm going to frustrate some brother, giving them patches for something that his heart is not there. That is the real failure.
So that's the win.
Absolutely.
That's still winning.
I mean, it's a win.
That's still winning. Interesting how what could be perceived as a failure is really a win. It served the purpose.
Man, I'm saving you years of frustration. We are saving each other years of frustration, man. Can you imagine a guy that is in the prospecting period, the guy is pretending that, or, that he likes to ride, but he doesn't like to ride.
There's no fake it till you make it here.
Bro, no, it's not.
There's no fake it till you make it.
No, it's not. I mean, no, it's not. I mean, I had the opportunity to ride this Saturday. Horrible condition,
I was riding Saturday.
Well, it was.
I got wet. I got wet.
Well, it was windy.
Windy, yeah, that was bad. It was bad.
It was bad. And I had some hang around behind me, and I said, I wasn't faking him. It sucked for him too, but he did it. Now I know he can.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's important. That's important. And the idea is to be honest with yourself. So a process like this, it's going to help you a lot to have a better picture of yourself and a better picture of what you want to do, right? And that is important too. It's important too, because you don't want to hinder the mission. You don't want to hinder. Listen, there is way more affordable ways to serve God, and there is 10,000 less dangerous way to serve God than on a motorcycle. I'm not trying to get you out of your Harley and sell your Harley, but I'm trying to to give you a picture. If you're not certain, or there's cheaper ways to do this, man. Consider,
The hobbies that are way more.
man. Listen, there is a golf ministry, and it's cheaper, way cheaper than this, and less dangerous. Do you know who don't attack you? Squirrels don't attack you, man. Golf carts are not that dangerous.
Yeah.
So
You got to be pretty foolish to fall from one of those. Of course you would. Definitely, I agree with you. And you know what? Thank you for bringing the idea of this episode, because you know what? Again, we are not trying to have anybody really shy away from what God has put in your heart. On the contrary, we are trying to help you really search for the voice of God. Listen very clearly. If God has put in your heart to do a ministry, to maybe establish a club, to do something in this community, we need more people to do that. We want more people. We pray every day that God speak to hearts and to call people to help in ministering to this community, which we love so much. And of course, we need people. And if you feel that organizations that exist today out there are not where God is leading to you, that's fine. We don't want you to bend and kind of contort yourself into what other molds. No, that's not the idea. However, we are just trying to encourage you to ask God for guidance and really do the work in investigating, in looking into what this requires. Because the last thing you want to do really is to put yourself in a position where you are just going to stain the name. And remember, if you call yourself a follower of Christ, you represent Christ. And you also speak for your brothers in a manner, right? They're going to judge us all. And when Ozzy mentioned it at the beginning, when somebody does something and they say they're Christians, now every Christian becomes that, thief or that adulterer and so many things that are it's really unfortunate. I mean, nobody's perfect, but just please take this as an encouragement, not as us trying to dissuade you at all. And again, once again, I volunteer Ozzy. Ozzy's been there. He's done that. He's been in an MM. He's in an MC right now. If you need a word, please, you can feel free to reach out to myself. We would love to chop it up and hear what your ideas are and how we can maybe help you. There's a huge network within this community of faith-based writers, and we can try to help you. And if not, we can, try to direct it and maybe share some books or whatever, some other knowledge that we have.
absolutely. That's it, bro. That's what I got for today.
Yeah, Ozzy, thank you very much. It's super important, man. We don't talk about this enough. And I think this is pretty much a wrap for our first season. Happy New Year. It's 12 episodes. Bro, we got more. We got more in store. So what we want for you guys to do is the following. If this content has blessed you, if you like this content, if you don't have to like us, but if what we talking is, is hitting and you say, man, you guys, they're ugly as hell. But, they from time to time, they say something that is, listen, like and share this content. We're going to be prepping for our next season. We've got some really great ideas, but more than what we have in our minds and bing banging around in our heads, we would love to hear from you and find out what you guys would like for us to talk about. So drop us a comment, hit us up on Instagram and TikTok. I promise you, Ozzy will not dance. Hit us up on TikTok. So just let us know.
Let us know, guys.
It's been awesome.
Merry Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Be blessed, fam. Peace out.